Hi everyone, I'm back. I want to go over the final recap for mentalism. Remember, reprogramming our subconscious. To get unstuck, we must go within in order to change our mindset. So the first thing we did was look at what our life was. How do we get this way? How do we fall into all these traps? Go back to your childhood. Peel back the onion all the way back to your childhood. And start looking at things in your life that even started as a small child that programmed you to fall into these traps throughout your entire life. And then we get a little vulnerable here. To give an example, my brother, he was dyslexic. I was the second child, and as soon as I could walk and talk, my mother was like, Margie can take care of herself. Margie can take care of herself. She had to put her attention to my brother. And, you know, today dyslexia, it's common. But back in the 60s, it wasn't common. And they were just starting to learn how to care for all these things. So my mother put me on the back burner. I was on the back burner. My father worked at night. He slept during the day. Margie was on the back burner. And throughout my life, if anybody would give me the least little bit of attention, I would just hold on to it because I was always put on the back burner. So I would think that this attention was good, but it wasn't. It wasn't good at all. It wasn't. As I peeled back the onion, I saw all the errors of my way. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just how I was raised. I had to reprogram my subconscious to say, no more is Margie going to be put on a back burner. No more is Margie going to let anybody mistreat her. Margie's putting up her boundaries. And I now know the difference between somebody coming to me with true intentions and people coming towards me with bad intentions. I no longer gravitate to someone just to give me attention because I crave that my whole childhood. I would go to my friend's house and their parents just were so loving to their children, so giving to their children. I would have to go to my father and say, Daddy, can I please have something other than hand-me-downs? Because, you know, these lace dresses nowadays, you know, kids are wearing pants to school. Can I please have some new clothes here? And can you please buy me clothes that fit me, not 2 or 3 sizes bigger for me to grow into? Because they'll be worn out before I grow into them. So my mother was kind of mad at me, but she took me to the store and got me some clothes that fit and that were in style. Now, I'm not a designer chick. I've never been a designer chick. I go to Walmart. come out of, look at some good clothes there nowadays. What I'm saying is how you are raised as a child, it does impact you going forward throughout your life. As I went into jobs, I was always put on the back burner. I remember I would work at a grocery store. I could run the checkout, go back to the deli, work the deli, stock groceries, help in the office with counting the money and balancing the drawers. Could do all of that. But they would bring new people in from the street to go in the office. Never offered me that position, which would have been nice with 2 small children. You see where I'm going. Always put on the back burner, and I just accepted it because that's how I was raised. It's like, well, I guess I really don't deserve to be in the office because I had to quit school to marry and have my first child. Now, don't get me wrong, I did go back to school and I did go further on into college. But at that time, I was put on a back burner. My confidence was crap. And I just settled for anybody that gave me attention. Because even with a little bit of a good attention, I thought it was great. And it wasn't. So when you peel back your onion, what did you find? See, I was codependent. And then I became definitely codependent. And then I look at my children nowadays, and I remember when I started going through this whole awakening process, I apologized to them. I said, I put you guys on a back burner for a man who treated my children horribly, horribly. I did get rid of him. And then as my children grew up and they were teenagers, well, they got married with my second husband. But he never gave my children that time of day. You think I put up with that now? Oh, hell no. But I apologize to them because I know that childhood trauma is real. And we all go through it. We all go through it. And it's funny, my children said, Mom, we know you did the best you could do with what you had. And I did. But that's not good enough. It's not good enough. So, what I'm saying is, the first step we did was to reprogram our subconscious. But before we could reprogram it, got to understand what we need to reprogram. Mine was codependency. And codependency could be several things. I was codependent on a man. I thought I needed a man to survive. I don't need a man to survive. I can do just fine on my own. You know, another thing is that when you hear codependency, it could also be several things that you're trying to mask what's hurting you. So you turn to alcohol, drugs, painkillers, anything just to try to erase the misery you're in. And being codependent and you're in a bad marriage, you may fall into those traps. Yeah. I remember I was never a drinker. If I drank anything, it was always at Christmas. But my second husband, as time went on, mine kind of masked his yelling and screaming 24 hours a day when he when he didn't pass out. He just didn't talk normal. I would have to look up and say, I'm not deaf. I have perfectly good hearing. I hear very well, and you are piercing my ears, so stop it. So what I'm saying is that sometimes you try to mask that by using substances to do that. It is what it is. I no longer drink. I think the strongest drug I've ever done is pot, and that wasn't very much either, trust me. But you learn these things as you go through your awakening process. And once you find out what should change in your life and things you will no longer accept again, and those that have hurt you, jobs that have put you on a back burner, promoted people around you, but you were never good enough. And I agreed with it because that's how I was raised. But it's funny, the people that all got promoted, I trained them. I mentored them. I got them to where they were, but I wasn't good enough. I had a successful team. I had the director bring me up into his office to say, how are you doing this? You have a 50% promotion rate from your group. It's because I mentor my people. I know exactly where they belong. And when I met with them, I pushed them in those directions, and they were successful. Those that were not successful, I kind of told them that wasn't the job for them. So, but I wasn't good enough. Okay? Once you peel all those onions back and you see your self-worth, you'll never let that happen again. But what the next step is to forgive them. And I know you're saying, oh, hell no, I'm never going to forgive that person. Yeah, forgive them. Why keep that hatred inside of you? The only thing that's doing is taking you down. It's lowering your vibration. You want your vibration high. You want your vibration high, not low, high. You are forgiving them for you. And most importantly, forgive yourself. Always forgive yourself. This was how you were raised. It isn't until you sat back and said, I don't want to live like this anymore. I deserve more than this. I am so much better than this. Why do I keep falling into these same traps? Now you know why. And you've forgiven them. And you've forgiven yourself. And then the next thing is we remove the negativity. And there's negativity all around us. You just turn on the TV and there's negativity. You know, I used to love to watch Judge Judy. If it doesn't sound right, it's not right. A lot of things you hear on the news, it's in plain sight. Discern, discern, discern. Remove what is just a storyline, is what I call it. Trying to keep us in fear, anxious, and just in a constant state of trauma. What is going to happen? Is the world, we're going to have World War III? No, we're not. The only war we're going to have is a spiritual war between good and bad. No, there's not going to be a World War III. Discern, remove anything that does not sounds like a fairy tale, but it's really a horror story. And just discard that and just keep what resonates with you. And that's how you keep the negativity out. I don't watch the news. I look at different avenues to gather my information because I don't want to hear it. I don't. Because I know that probably 80% of it is just fear-mongering. I don't fear anything. Nothing. So why would I want to listen to something that wants to put fear and make me anxious and nervous and in chaos? Never. So do your discernment. What to watch on TV, what friends to be around, what places to go, so we don't fall back into those traps again. Because once you start clearing your mind and you're reprogramming and you're doing this all from within yourself, you're never going to fall back to those traps again because you're starting to feel good. For the first time in your life, you're starting to feel relaxed. And, just go out into nature. Ground yourself. Ground yourself. Look at the beauty that God has given us. Look at the trees, the birds, the animals, the squirrels, the possums. I had a possum at my back door the other night. Zoe chased it off, but I'm like, no, don't chase it, don't chase it. But, I have deer that come walking across the field in front of me. It's just, look at nature. Just look at the beauty in nature. And just sit and be calm and just watch it. And meditate. Meditation takes a while. And it's hard to clear your mind. But I started out with the guided meditations. So I would listen to the meditation, to the music, and what they were directing me to do. To now, I'm in meditation within minutes. And just love yourself. Love yourself. Because once you love yourself, You'll never let anybody walk all over you again, because you're going to have your boundaries up. And if anybody crosses it, God forbid. Yeah. And pray to God. I pray to God in the morning before my feet hit the floor. And I pray to Him at night. And I read my Bible verses every night. Yes, I'm spiritual. But I read the Bible every day. I pray to my Father every day. The angels, your ancestors, and God are with you every day. Just let them know that you're here for them. And if you need their help, call them in. They'll be there in just moments. We will get into the second Hermetic Principle with my next video, which is correspondence. But for right now, continue what you're doing. It takes a while, but you're going to come through just fine. And what you'll find is you're happy. You're full of joy. You're peace. You're at peace. You're at peace for the first time in your life. And you're calm. And you love yourself. And you love others, even those that have wronged you. Just forgive them. Pray to God and forgive them. And just feel everything lift off of your chest. But love yourself. Until the next time, guys, I love you all. And I hope you have a blessed day and happy Halloween. We're almost there. Goodbye.